Good morning everyone and welcome to my channel English Literature. Today it is our second video on Renaissance. We have already started our journey through Renaissance, and in our first video it was just a mind map or planning, you can say it, that how we will proceed in this age in English literature. So today we will discuss what is Renaissance, when did it start and where. These three topics today we have to discuss. Now the term Renaissance is derived from French Renaissance. The term is actually French term derived from French. It means rebirth. Renaissance, that means rebirth. French historian Jules Michelet used this term Renaissance in his book La Renaissance. So just keep in mind and take note of these things, that from where the term Renaissance came and who invented it and where. To him, the Renaissance represented a progressive democratic condition that celebrated great vistas like art, beauty, reason, truth, etc. He identified Renaissance with the spirit of modernism. So Renaissance for him, for Jules Michelet, was actually the seed of modernism was imbued in Renaissance, and for him Renaissance did not take place in 14th century Italy but in the 16th century France. Being a French historian, it is very common for him that he claimed Renaissance was a French phenomenon. 14th century Italy advocated religious monopoly and political tyranny. That was not part of the spirit of Renaissance. Now, we will proceed in our discussion on Renaissance from its origin. So, where Renaissance first originated, and it was in Italy, and particularly in Florence. Actually, you find Italy was the combination of city-states. There are so many, you can find these city-states. Actually, Italy was the combination of these city-states. And first Renaissance was flourished in Florence, and behind flourishing in Florence, and particularly in Italy, there are several reasons working, and you can find that in our planning we just keep it a point that we will discuss why Renaissance started in Italy. So next, when we will read about that topic, then I will make it clear that why Renaissance actually started in Italy. But now we just remember that Renaissance was started in Florence, and then it gradually spread all over the city-states, in different city-states, and then finally it spread through the Europe. And now you can find it from Italy. Renaissance spread to Germany, Spain, France, and finally reached England. French Renaissance, and they took in different time periods of history, not at the same time. That it is not that in the same time in whole Europe Renaissance started. Actually, Renaissance is a concept, if certain ideologies and certain revolution in human thought and activities, that is called Renaissance, and it happened time to time in different parts of Europe. It at first Italy, then French, German, and these countries did not witness Renaissance at the same time. For example, you can understand it clearly that French Renaissance that took place between 15th century to early 17th century, and in German 15th century to 16th century, and English Renaissance 16th century to 17th century, almost same time, contemporary time, but not perfectly they fall in the same time. Now Renaissance influenced different areas of art and culture. For it is again another point that the different, when Renaissance came and evolved different countries, it just started human activities in different fields, and there was certain change, certain revolution of thought and activities, exploration, painting, drawing, literature, whatever it is, but they are not same. Suppose in Italy Renaissance was prominent or flourished through the painting, Mona Lisa, and other exuberant paintings. That is the mark of Italian Renaissance. And again in Netherlands, it is also painting. But for English Renaissance, it is more on literature and music. So these different trends of Renaissance in variegated countries and in variegated fields of human activities. So now what is Renaissance? And Renaissance was a revival of human interest in classical writings, art, literature and music. People's attention started flowing towards the outer world. Before Renaissance, what happened? People were just confined, medieval stagnation, and people's mind, the mind was confined within his own country, own thought, belief, superstition, whatever you can call it. But people gradually, with the exploration and introduction of different medias and printing press, translation of Bibles, translation of other language, other literature, these things just gradually broaden people's mind, and people try to think beyond this comfort zone. They try to explore beyond their own country, different countries. And this expansion of human mind is the most general feature of Renaissance. An intellectual and humanistic surge flooded the human mind, and the main innovative human impulse was then the curiosity. What was in the medieval period? That people cannot question the authority of church or religion. Everything is unquestionable. Everything is supreme. But people's curiosity was always suppressed, strangulated and dominated by church. But in the Renaissance period, it came like inundating, flooding. It cannot be no more suppressed. So curiosity, the desire to know the unknown, was the main impulse of Renaissance. And they try to solve the mysteries of the world through empirical observation. It is very important to keep in mind. They try to solve the mysteries of world not through what is preached in Bible and what the church authorities are ascribed or prescribed for them, but they try to think, to observe, and then came to a conclusion. And Renaissance was the bridge. Actually, Renaissance was the bridge between medieval darkness to modern age. You find that Julian Misala said that Renaissance is actually part of modernism, and obviously it is, because before Renaissance it was the medieval period, and then Renaissance came and transformed us to the modern period. So medieval period and modern period, there is a gap, and in this period you can find that Renaissance is the most vital thing. Now, rediscovery of classical and Greek philosophy of Plato, Aristotle, we can find this period. The rediscovery of classical philosophy, Plato, Aristotle, Roman humanism, these things actually shaped the concept of the Renaissance. The focus of the Renaissance was on human creation. Now, rediscovery of classical and Greek philosophy of Plato, Aristotle, Roman humanism, that shaped the concept of the Renaissance. The focus of the Renaissance was on human creation and human endeavors. So there is a shift of paradigm from God to human beings. That human art, human creation, human interest was get more priority than medieval preachings. Art, science, literature, exploration. Actually, classical literature was far more mature and far more expanded than the other European countries. So their inspiration was the final momentum for acceleration of Renaissance. The rise of diplomacy, reasoning, banking, and banking was the most revolutionary incident of this period. We will talk about banking when we will talk about Italian Renaissance and how Italian Renaissance prospered. In that video, we will talk about banking, the Medici family, and accounting. These things actually shaped the concept and shaped the heart of Renaissance. So Renaissance is a time in European history that covers 300 years period in Europe when the poets, philosophers and architects reunited and reconnected themselves with classical antiquity, the literature and art of Greek and Roman civilization. Now you can see that there is chart that Renaissance, how it spread from all over the Europe from Italy. Italy is French, it was the first place to have the Renaissance, and then French Renaissance and German and English Renaissance. So in our next video we will talk about the background of Renaissance. How Renaissance is not that it came suddenly in a certain point of time and just did the miracle. Actually the ground was preparing, that was discussed in the medieval period, that dark age or the preparation ground. Actually the ground was preparing, and that was the fruit, and the fruit was the Renaissance. So in our next video we will talk about the background of Renaissance. Okay, bye, thank you.